two on Earth and two off-world, and I think there's a fifth one.
Just out of control, you know, how fast things are happening. And like, if you think about us now, I mean, if we try and think about like what is it going to be like in a year or 2 years, I don't think we could even really imagine.
I know. So
much in the past 4 months. I can't imagine what that range is going to be like. We even woke Song up today. I'll be damned. Haven't seen him in ages.
I know. I was just what you were saying. It was like I was watching one of the Bashar channelings not long ago, and it was actually a woman talking to Willa Hilla Chrissing, who I absolutely love, and she was talking about 65 years from now, and the way she was describing it was completely different. And I'm just like, whoa, it's just going to just rocket, you know?
Oh, 65 years. I would have to live a long time to still be here at 65 years, but you can only hope.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm doing 120 something.
I think we're going to be able to re-emerge back into pure positive energy without a death experience.
Wow.
At least one.
I think so. And who knows, we might be like heading into the quasi-physical by then. So, you know,
Yeah.
Only up from here. Hey, Wee Song, how you doing? Good to see you.
I'm doing well. Hi, Ash. Good to see you.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And Ina, I'm so happy you made it today, because I know sometimes you have commented, you know, that you would love to be able to come. So that's so awesome.
Yeah. I want to come to you like many times. Like today it happened.
It was the day. Yeah. So good. Welcome. And there's Lewis. Hi, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Milo.
Good to see you guys, you know. Oh, look at that. You know, we're silly, you know, with a nice camera.
I'm not in bed.
Hi, Jackie.
I'm usually asleep because of the time. Aisling, don't be surprised. I'm usually asleep because of the time. That's why they're all surprised to actually see me. But I'd gone out with a friend, so I was like, I shall brave it. I shall stay awake.
There's sometimes if I attend a channeling later in the evening, I just fall almost straight asleep. And I think it's like, you know, it can be healing anyway. So if we see you doze off, we'll say that's what needed to happen today.
I've been known to do that in these sessions at this time of the day. So
you better make me co-host, because we don't want to hear her snoring.
Sorry. Yeah. Let me just do that. That's exactly right, Ray. Hang on.
I know, it's just like old times.
I've forgotten how to do it. How do I do that?
Just like old simultaneous times.
Make co-host. Yeah, very good. So I've actually already started the recording, but I'm just hi also Tabby, Sharon, Christina, and Milo. It's great to see you there. Thank you for coming. I just wanted to say at the beginning, I was going to do a podcast, and the guy kind of said, oh, how many followers do you have? And I was like, I don't know, I think like 50 or something, but you're supposed to have more than that to be able to go on a podcast. So if you're watching this, if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be really good. I think that would help. I just thought I'd say that beforehand. Okay, yeah, I'll go into the state. We'll go. Oh, and also just Ray, if you have a question, to put it in the chat box, and Ray will be able to organize for there. Thank
you. As usual. Okay, everybody mute. Thank you.
Greetings, this is Zariyah from the Orion Civilization. We are so pleased that you have gathered here to join us today for a brief transmission on Once Upon a Timeline. The idea that we would like to share with you today is that possibly the best and most widely used tool for understanding reality in the fourth dimension and the third dimension is the tool of story. The idea of story is that it takes place once upon a timeline, but that it does take place in realities where you construct time in a linear form. And the purpose of this is so that you can follow an unfolding, a narrative, if you like. And in that unfolding, in that narrative, you can explore certain themes and have certain experiences. Without the idea of linear time, there is no such thing as a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it is through that mechanism of story that you are able to explore so vividly, so robustly, the themes that you have come to explore. In fact, that is the very central gift of the third and fourth dimension, that you can construct and experience by pulling together a series of moments in time to create the effect of linear time through which you can grow, mature, and explore. How exciting. The idea that you are connected to various mythological stories or various timelines that are historically, if you like, renowned in your civilization is evidence of you connecting to stories on other timelines. We can reference realities like Camelot, ideas such as Never Never Land, ideas such as Atlantis. These are all time-space realities that have pulled together linear time in such a way as to create a strong and compelling storyline that you are connected to, and from whence you have learned so much about the nature of your own soul and the nature of the human experience, or the indeed experience of consciousness itself, as it unfolds into greater expansion and realization of more of what it really is. In this sense, as you allow yourself to reflect on the powerful stories that have built momentum in your being, drawing on your experiences in those realities, we encourage you to, in this now moment, focus on your life as the unfolding of a story, as the hero's or heroine's journey that it is, in fact, in reality. And in that sense, you can expand the richness of your own unfolding and come into the awareness that we are always encouraging you to come into of more of who you really are. In this sense, we have been sharing with you your experiences through counterpart cells of the Orion story and the powerful resonance that has for beings on your planet at this time. We encourage you to create the story that will resonate with beings all across the galaxy as they talk for eons and connect for eons with the experience of those great heroes, pioneers, and champions of the transition to the new Earth. How exciting. We do hope that this reminder of the importance of story to your unfolding does serve you on some level. And if you have questions, we are most happy to take them at this time.
Thank you, Zariyah. That was so synchronous.
You are so welcome.
last time we chatted, you gave us the name of the child who was born. Do you remember?
Yes. We don't remember. We have it always in our conscious awareness, the interconnectedness of all that is. Duality integrated into oneness.
That's brilliant. So can you please tell us the story of that child and what happened, how that shaped the transformational period of that civilization in that time?
Yes, indeed. One moment. The energy of that epoch is descending into the channel's experience. 1 moment. As a civilization, you understand that we had many priests and priestesses in our civilization who began the process of the Orion transcendence. We have described to you the many ways that this was an internal process of emanating a light, or indeed before emanating the light, sparking the light and fanning the flame internally of consciousness, of unity consciousness. The realization that the cycle of polarity and war was only going to further entrench and embed, and was in a sense a matrix not escapable through the practicing of the same behaviors that had always resulted in the polarization and further polarization of all beings in our civilization. We will also have you know that the Orion Wars were not just affecting the Orion civilization, they were bleeding out into other civilizations and other galaxies, if you like. So powerful is the pull of polarity that it can indeed affect the fabric of the universe in some way. And in that sense, you have a description of how powerful it is to go inside yourself internally and integrate, that it was for us an enormous leap of faith, the recognition that we could change our reality by changing our internal experience, eventually pulsing that out, creating a critical mass of peace-seeking, high vibrational, emanating, consciousness raising, unity seeking groups. And those groups then did form satellites of enlightenment, if you like, that began to connect and anchor in a new consciousness. If we can refer to stories on your planet, you have many stories of divine birth. They are in various mythologies, be they Hindu, Greek, Celtic, indigenous, Christian. These mythologies often have seminal moments of divine birth, and the divine birth, while often it does represent an actual child, is also representative of a new wave of consciousness on the planet. It can be both. It can be the birth of the being, and it can be the birth of the new age of enlightenment. In the Orion Civilization, we had reached this critical mass of enlightenment such that we were able to collectively give birth to a child that did not have the mark of polarity. This child did not have to integrate the polarity in you, if you like, as the high priests and priestesses did, but it was born from, into, and propelling forwards with unity consciousness. The recognition of that birth was the The event of that birth was the recognition that Orion had transmuted the prison of polarity and become the Orion light. The collective civilization gasped, in a sense, with the realization of what we had done. So profound, so beautiful, so enlightened, so magnificent. Became the name of the child as not just a recognition of the in-out, but a recognition of our response to the understanding of what we had created. So divine. How exciting. Does that help?
It does help. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Hi, Zariyah. Greetings to you.
Hello.
My question is about Chinese astrology. A few days ago, we left the year of the dragon and have just entered the year of the snake, or some say the little dragon. Could in this mythology, in this system, could you recommend a story about snakes that might help us understand and navigate what's coming towards us, or what we're moving towards for 2025?
Yes, indeed. The idea of the dragon and the serpent, which does appear in many mythologies on your planet, of course, astrologically from the East, but there are many representations in pagan, Celtic, indigenous mythologies of the serpent. And the serpent does represent ancient knowledge, deep ancient knowledge, reawakening. The story that we would refer you to is the story of the Garden of Eden. You have the appearance of the snake. The snake, in fact, being a representation of Lilith, the original feminine form. The representation of Lilith in this way is tempting the naive, if you like, or perhaps virgin-minded, if you like, beings in the Garden of Eden into the knowledge of the way reality really is. The interpretation of this story over time has depicted knowledge as somehow dangerous and corrupting. However, the only thing you will discover in knowledge is, of course, more of who you really are, and greater and deeper understanding of the way the universe and reality really is. Knowledge is not corrupting. However, if you are attempting as a civilization to tell stories to beings within that civilization that will keep them from understanding their true divinity, one can create stories that suggest that knowledge is dangerous, that knowledge is corrupting. You are at a precipice time on the history of your Earth, this 2025, where you are coming into awareness of very ancient knowledge. And that ancient knowledge consists of the real genesis of your civilization, those timelines that are connected to extraterrestrial interference, if you like, in your very being, your very upgrading of DNA, your very capabilities. And in that sense, you are coming into awareness of that, or you are at least at the precipice of coming into awareness of that. Lilith has entered the garden and she is offering you the fruit of knowledge. Will you take it? That is for you to decide. There are powerful stories around enlightenment, Kundalini awakening, if you will, that suggest that seeking more knowledge is the path to enlightenment. And there are powerful stories that would tell you that knowledge is corrupting. We don't seek to influence you in any direction. This is the time for humanity to start to really steer their own ship in that regard. Does that help?
Yes, that's a fabulous response. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Take a bite. We dare you.
So, Zariyah, this past week I spent some time at the ocean.
Yes.
When the sun came up.
Yes.
And I took the first 20 minutes to connect with, look at the sun and connect with it. It was very powerful. I would even say it was indescribable.
Yes.
And then later in the day, when I was meditating, I brought that feeling of the sun into my solar plexus, where I connect with my inner spirit.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I felt like I was the sun. I felt like I was everything.
Yes,
I
indeed.
felt like there was nothing outside of me, and that everything outside of me that I could see was me.
Yes.
And it was a very powerful, transformative experience for me. And I thought it felt like it was very helpful to my body as well.
Yes.
And I just wanted to get your comment on that.
Yes. One moment. When you were describing the watching of the sunrise, the connecting of that to your solar plexus, the channel herself experienced, in a sense, what you were experiencing. She felt the powerful energy of the sun. You understand this is your brightest star, your most energetic collection of gas and light. It powers life on your planet. The taking in of that energy into your solar plexus almost blasts out anything that is not life-giving or alive in your being. The physicality of beings in the dimension that you are in, on the timeline that you are on now, has a tendency to accumulate types of pollution and debris, if you like. It is just a side effect of some of the goings on your timeline, that your body is holding various particles of dead matter, if you like, chemicals, other plastics, other things that the body has not been able to necessarily release. It is just a nature of the way that the unfolding on your timeline has taken place. And the sun, as a representative of a powerful cleansing energy moving up through the solar plexus, down up through the heart chakra and out through the third eye, is almost like an antiseptic, blasting out the dead matter, the still matter, if you like. And restoring life, for that is what the fundamental energetic signature of the sun is. It is life giving. It is energy rising. Hence, you're watching the sun rise into the sky and also through you. And in that sense, in the blasting frequency, what you do is momentarily connect with the energy of the sun, and that being the energy of all life, you are therefore connecting with the energy of all that is. And you have a moment of complete transcendence into a fifth dimensional energy. How exciting. Of course, when you have these moments, you do return to your fourth dimensional experience. You do return to elements of the third dimensional experience, because you do stay here in physical at this time. But it is that capacity to really integrate and experience consciously some of those five dimensional experiences that is preparing you physically for contact. You are able to engage with pure, positive energy, stay in physical, and be upgraded in the experience. How exciting. The channel would also thank you for sharing that experience, because she has experienced it vicariously through your description.
Thank you. That was very meaningful and powerful for me.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you very much for your time and energy, time in our time, and your energy, Zariyah. On my channeling progress, Ra was blessed us with his energy and told me that once I removed toxins from my liver and kidneys, that would improve my channeling ability and allow me to contact counterparts and bring their energy in. Is there anything that you can add to assist me in my channeling journey, please?
Yes, well, following on from the last conversation, may we first suggest that you sit in meditation in front of a sunrise. That is one powerful way that we have just described in terms of being able to remove those extraneous particles that do complicate the normal function and pattern of the cellular programs in your physical body. The idea is that as you raise your vibration, you do in fact become more sensitive to these types of intrusive elements in your physical body. And the process of channeling is one process that amongst many that in fact does help you to raise your vibration. You are cleaning yourself out. You are raising your vibration such that you can connect with higher vibrational energies and draw them through you in a sense. And in that way, at each step in the process, what you are being called to do is to find ways to streamline your vessel, if you like, to fine-tune your vessel. And there are, of course, all of the ways that you do know about, which are to do with what you put in and how you release it in terms of what you eat, what you drink, and the air that you breathe, even the clothes that you wear. We would add, however, that as you become more practiced at this, there is the energetic component. There is the recognition that energy can move matter. In fact, it is the only thing that ever has. And so if you have particles of matter that are very minuscule in your organs or in your physical body generally, such that they won't be flushed out by water. It is the concentration of energy that will break them down further and eventually push them out through your skin. In that sense, taking energetic steps, cleansing energetic steps, such as imbibing the energy of the sun is one way that you can do this. If you can think also of the experiences of your Orion counterparts, we did not have the sun to rest our eyes on, to feel the sterilizing power of light inside of us. We had to generate the light inside of us without that image and without that powerful force. And we tell you it can be done, and you have done it yourself also. We would just draw to your attention one other thing. There is a tendency by many beings on your planet, we don't include you in this, but just generally speaking, there is a tendency of many beings not to notice the profound beauty of Earth that is accessible to you every moment of every day, and immersing yourself in recognition and appreciation of that profound beauty is also cleansing energetic. Does that help?
That helps quite a bit, not only me, but I'm sure that will help a lot of people on the replay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We would also add that you are a deep appreciator and observer of beauty on your planet. And that is one of the channels through which you are detoxifying yourself, if you like.
Thank you.
Hi, Zariyah.
Hello.
So I'd like to continue the general theme of, I guess I'll call it purification, so that we can actually flow better into what I'm going to call our mission, so to speak, for the way I see it. And I remember a couple of months ago, we had a discussion about how to generate that light within. And I have had that experience in which enough light could be generated within to deal with some things that appear to be highly dense, very dense. But maintaining that on a consistent basis continues to be somewhat of a challenge.
Yes.
In looking at how I'm doing things, I have noticed a lot of improvements overall. For example, I'm fairly happy. Oh my God, you know, the radio, the old songs that come are reviving me all the time into the very best periods of my life, for example. So I'm responding to that sort of thing very well. But the question has to do with what else should be doing to generate that light within.
Yes. We will say that although you say it is difficult to maintain it consistently, that if you were to reflect back to yourself, in fact, if you were able to slip into the vibrational frequency range of yourself on this timeline in what would appear to be 10 years ago, you would indeed feel quite startled at how high your vibrational frequency range has become and how consistently you are able to stay there. Of course, it is the project of the human condition, if you like, to strive for higher and higher vibrational experiences and then drop out of them, if you like. And that is because it is in that striving is the joy, the anticipation, the realization of the journey. It is in that experience precisely that you have the greatest thrill from your enlightenment. The idea that we have brought to you today is that story is a fundamental tool of conception of the third and fourth dimension, because it is in the going through something that you achieve the sensations of appreciation, of gratitude, of a sense of poignancy, of the unconditional love that is inspired from understanding the temporal nature of your reality. All of these sensations, which are very high vibration, are only accessible because you have the gap and the striving and the falling out and the raising of the vibration to the gap and the striving and the falling out. It is that very process that allows you to experience the range of emotions that define a high vibrational state, if you like. So in that sense, if you can recognize as you are doing those experiences of being catapulted into a type of nostalgic joy at the hearing of an old song and reliving all of those stories that you have in your repertoire and the emotions that come from that, that is a deeply exciting experience that you can access that now just through a melody. The practice of that will only intensify, and you will only find yourself in higher and higher vibrational states, able to remain conscious in those states, able to remain expanded and aware in those states. But there will always be, in a sense, a falling back, because that's what keeps you here. That's what the thrill is. And even when you transition from this reality, why do you think beings choose to descend again? Why do you think they choose to densify into the fourth dimensional or third dimensional reality again? It is because the thrill of that experience of closing the gap and becoming conscious of doing that is so compelling that beings seek to fall back, if you like, from transitioning all the time. There would be no one on your timeline if beings weren't excited to take that journey many, many times. Even as we reflect on the experience of the Orion Civilization and the high priests and priestesses, they achieved a certain seventh dimensional enlightenment through the transformation or transcendence of the Orion Civilization. And yet many of those very evolved beings chose to densify, in a sense, and have an experience in third or fourth dimensional realities, because the thrill of the expanding even more from that vantage point was too much to resist. Does that help?
Tremendously. I'm awestruck by the answer, beyond anything that I had in my mind. Really beautiful. Thank you. Very
You are
deep.
welcome.
Hello, Zariyah. It's Jackie here, and it's been quite a long time since I've spoken or asked you any questions.
Yes.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hello. I have a question about, so I'm very, very interested in Willa Hilla Chrising and the 5 levels of mastery.
Yes.
And I have been doing as Willa Hilla Chrising recommended the 15-minute cryptic meditations by the river. And it has opened up a lot of doors to beings, nature beings, animal spirits that have visited me, including parallel counterparts as well. But one being came forth, which I'm really, really interested in, who actually I don't I would like to know their purpose. And as I was meditating, I saw a skull being. So they were a skull draped in black, and they showed themselves to me. And I have a feeling that they might be, I'm not sure where they're from, but I have a feeling they might be here to support me in my journey of the 5 levels of mastery. But I was wondering if you could enlighten me as to who they are, where they're from, and how I can work with them.
Yes, indeed. We will have you know that during the fall of Atlantis, there were many priests and priestesses who saw the fall coming, and they sought to, we will say before the 13,000-year veil descended, they sought to store knowledge, store very ancient wisdom in the crystal skulls that are scattered around your planet. Some of those skulls have become vibrational, if you like. They are, while you can find evidence of them, they are not necessarily in densified form. Some of them are, in fact, still in densified form. And contact with the crystal skulls represents contact with ancient knowledge that you are becoming aware of. In the same way that the serpent and dragon energy represents that ancient awakening of the feminine knowledge, the crystal skulls represent that ancient awakening of the masculine knowledge. And you have that appearing to you in your meditations as an invitation to explore that avenue. If you can recognize that while there are beings who have the original crystal skulls and have access to them, there are energetic representations of the skulls that will visit certain beings in their meditations or sleep or in an altered reality. And you can have contact with them that way. We won't ever attempt to speak for or translate for the skulls. And in a sense, they have appeared to you through your cryptic meditations because they can be a little tricky. We do hope that helps.
Thank you very much. Amazing. Cheers.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Zariyah. Nice to meet you. My name is Ina.
Nice to meet you as well.
I would like to ask you how you see the theme of my life, the title of my story.
One moment. Well, of course, there are the individual themes and there are the collective themes. The strongest collective theme that you are participating in the co-creation of is of transformation at this time. That is a theme shared by many people on this group and many people on your broader earth on this timeline now. The broad collective theme of transformation is the context in which you are exploring your individual theme. And the individual theme is of resilience. And we don't mean resilience in the way it tends to be interpreted by beings on your planet as surviving. Resilience is the idea of shining a light in spite of the perhaps circumstances that are not what you would necessarily prefer. And that is where you are drawing on many of your counterparts in the experience of that. The primary counterparts that you have in unpacking your theme, we will say, are Sirius, Lyran, and Orion beings. These are, of course, powerful and ancient energies, particularly the Lyran energy there is a ancientness to that energy that infuses the idea of resilience with the knowledge that you are an eternal being and you are in this timeline coming into awareness of the indiminishability of that fact. Does that help?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Hi, Zariyah. Thank you for being here, inspiring us.
You are so welcome. Thank you for the co-creation.
Yeah, thank you. So my question is related to some experience. When I spend a day not doing things I'm supposed to do, and I always have that small voice says that I should not do that. And I would have thought that somebody will be upset and I would have a kind of guilty feeling. So I know that
things I am supposed to do.
Like if I go to work, so for a day, I'm not doing anything related to work. I'm probably reading my books and something like that. If I'm at home, I probably supposed to do more housework, but I just go out to play a lot of soccer and go home just to sleep. So that type of behavior. So that
yes, indeed.
So I would say that those things are not something I'm supposed to do, but I really enjoy doing that. It's my excitement to do that. And I know that that's my spontaneity to act at that present moment. But I always developed that, always had those guilty feelings and those small voice. So my question is that what would you suggest me to do to get rid of those small voice?
Yes, well, indeed, we can encourage you to really let yourself off the hook. This is, we will describe it as a thought affliction. That is something that many beings on your planet really grapple with. The idea that they should be doing other than what they are doing. And we will say it is just a trick of the physical mind to attempt to keep you away from all of that excitement. If you are doing the thing that you enjoy, that is the most profound thing you can do on your timeline, because in doing the thing you enjoy, you are connecting yourself to your higher mind, you are expanding your vibration, you are setting an example for other beings who also would dearly like to let themselves off the hook and spend more time doing the things that they enjoy. If you would like to ease the mental struggle, you can remind yourself that in doing what you do, you collapse time. The 5 hours that you spend doing what you enjoy doing is really only 5 seconds of linear time. It is because you have stayed so much in the moment that you have not, to use an expression on your planet, wasted any time. By forcing yourself to do things that are onerous to you or not what you prefer, you have in fact, linearly speaking, lost time, if you like. You have stretched it out and dragged it along with your focus on the idea of a clock rather than your joy in the present moment. In that sense, what you might tell yourself is, by doing what I am doing, I am saving time to do all of the things I don't enjoy doing. The other perspective that we can offer you is that when we were manifesting the Orion light, deeply transforming our civilization through the cultivation of unity consciousness, in that process, there were many dishes that didn't get done. There were floors that were not vacuumed. and there was laundry that was not folded. I don't think anybody is concerned with that now. Do you?
No.
Does that help?
Yes, helps very lot. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Hi, Zariyah.
Hello.
So I've been thinking about manifestation, and I know that I'm right now manifesting my whole physical reality experience.
Yes.
Yet within that experience, some things have a continuity to it or an unfoldment, and other things have this energy of just appearing almost like out of nowhere, even if it includes other people, actions, a timeline embedded in it. It has that quality of being spontaneous and instantaneous. So I was wondering what is the difference about between those two kinds of experiences, and if you could give us guidance or any help with opening the ability to have more direct, immediate reflections, because it feels available, which feels really good to me, and that shows me it's quite relevant maybe for a lot of people here.
Yes, and indeed it is available. It is. And the evidence of that you have is to reflect briefly on your dream state. If you are able to lucid dream or even remember some of your dreams on waking, the